BS.
Well, Heidi ho 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 and Merry Crimbus. It's your lovable father time / baby boy Brank, bringing you that sweet, sweet good news during the holidays. And who am I joined by?
Joined by Jankdolph, the Rednose reindeer, you know?
Jankdolph, the Rednose reindeer.
Just celebrating,
I couldn't get it.
Celebrating Brankmas the only way I know how, you know? Just none of the other reindeers let me play ever. It's annoying.
I couldn't have done this without you, Jankdolph. Or whatever. Your name reminds me way too much of Gandalf, the dweeb from Lord of the Rings. Everybody knows.
Also a wizard, so
you're a wizard reindeer, just like the old classic tales always tell us about.
It's a tale as old as time, man. Song as old as
Before we
rhyme.
get to the good news, which is gaming and how we need to share it, Donut Man style, we need to talk about our holidays. How was your holiday? You get anything fun?
I was good, man. I was busy. Just did the whole family thing. You know, we went Christmas Eve, hung out with the family. Christmas Day, hung out with the family. I was away from my Xbox, unfortunately, so I didn't really get to play a lot of games there. But we did get a chance to sit down the other night and watch Wonder Woman 84.
Yeah, that's some load of garbage. What do you think about it? I real quick, I want to throw out, because people probably hate that thought at all, knowing the internet. I liked Wonder Woman that came out, I think it was 2 years ago. I think it was the same year as Black Panther, or the year after. Anyways, that Wonder Woman I thought was pretty fun. This one, it was perfect for what I paid, which is my monthly subscription to HBO Max. And not $1 more. Yeah,
well, I mean, if you think about it, when you go to the movie theaters, you are paying about $16, $17 to see a movie. So, I mean, technically, you got to see it cheaper than the movie theater. But, I did enjoy the first one. I thought it was okay. It wasn't my favorite movie. I made that known on social media. Big mistake. Everyone started calling me sexist because I didn't say it was, like, amazing. But,
of course,
I just thought the first one was too much like Captain America, and then this one was like, it entertained me. I mean, I don't regret watching it by any means, but it had a lot of plot holes and inconsistencies, and again,
it just wasn't a good movie, man. Like, it wasn't well directed, wasn't well acted. Like, I'm there with you. I enjoyed it, but I think some of that enjoyment comes to the fact that we've essentially been watching Hallmark specials all year, known as Netflix films.
Yeah, and that's what I've been telling people. Right, now that's what I've been saying. I'm like, I can't tell if like I genuinely enjoyed this film or was due to the lack of other things to watch. From a cinematography standpoint, really liked it because the colors popped and like all the scenes were filmed really well. Chris Pine stand out in the movie, but I mean, other than that, like it was a movie.
I liked Kristen Wiig for the first half of it. I honestly think it's one of the worst things I've seen Pedro Pascal in. I normally love him. I did not like his acting or the role or honestly, the whole story arc of his thing. Like, I'm a big fan of anti-greed movies. That's all I'll say. But I think it was a really poorly written anti-greed story.
You're right. I loved the idea, like the theme of the monkey's paw, which they made sure that you knew because they mentioned it like 6 times in the movie. But like.
They thought you were too stupid, so they had to constantly mention it. They couldn't just say curl the monkey paw once or even twice.
Yeah,
it was probably 12 times.
Say
by the
it
time
over and over again. Yeah, I always liked that theme, and then like I love how you always have to specify. If you have 3 wishes, you always have to, or if you wish for anything, you always have to specify. Don't mess with me. All right, because everything has a consequence. But I mean.
I like that idea, but I mean, they literally treat us all like we're dumb and drunk and only watching a quarter of the film.
When I was in film school, they tell you to always like write and direct things according to that old acronym of KISS, right? KISS, keep it simple, stupid. You want to always assume the audience is dumb, and they really like took that to new levels in this movie.
Yeah, they were like, these people probably don't know what a story is or what ideas are, so let's just try to keep shoving it in their face what's going on. No, it's enjoyable. I definitely will say that, but I have to say, out of like, we're not doing a movie ranking on this podcast, but out of even the top 5 movies I've seen this year, I'm not even sure would make it into that, man. Like, that's how weird it is. Like, there hasn't even been that many big movies that came out this year, but compared to like Extraction, Tenet, even Soul, we watched Soul that same night.
That one. Yeah, I heard it's really Plus. Good. Heard's really good, but that's one I gotta watch also. But I mean, I like the idea of like the subscription service, being able to watch from my couch. I am really looking forward to Dune coming out, but I mean, if that's like everything coming out in 2021, like Dune, I'm stoked on that movie because I was a huge fan of Blade Runner, and it's made by the same person. So,
well, if you're a big fan of Blade Runner, you're gonna love when I talk even more about Cyberpunk later on. But real quick, to Soul, I have seen a lot of extremely pro reviews for it. It is very good, but a lot of people are saying it's much better than Onward. I would say it's the same ballpark. Those films, to me, like, they are both mid-tier Disney films. They're both very good, like all Disney films, but I don't think we're like Finding Nemo levels of storytelling or anything yet.
What is Onward? Is that another?
Oh, that was
Disney?
really cool. That was a fun one. It's like a D&D style Disney thing where you have 2 elf brothers.
Never mind. Yes, okay, I have seen that one. Yeah, that has the Manticore, right? And she's running the pizza place.
Yes, and Soul reminds me a lot of that. Like, it's really charming, it's really cute, but it's, I like it a lot more than like what I would say low tier recent Disney films. Like, what's that one with the different personality traits inside the body?
That was like a really dark movie. That's Inside Out.
Inside Out, yeah. Like, I honestly, if I'm being real, would put that on like a low scale of Disney films. Like, I'll never watch this again. It had a couple good moments. The end. This is slightly better than those. But since we are a movie podcast now, we are Super BS, a podcast about video games mostly, but this episode we're not doing anything about video games. No, but you didn't even answer my original question, which is, what did Santa Papa bring you for Christmas? That's all I care about. I don't care about your family. I care about the gifts. That's what you got to be about, that cash money.
So I got Watch Dogs Legion for Christmas.
Hell yeah.
Got some Gundam models. I'm a fan of building those things. Got the Alien quadrilogy on Blu-ray.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, got myself.
So why would somebody get you the Alien quadrilogy? Is it to show you what 2 good movies look like and what 2 bad ones look like to compare?
Well, funny enough, it's actually cheaper to buy the box set than it is just to buy the 2 movies on their own. So
okay, it doesn't come with it's not like a 6th one that comes with Prometheus as well as what is that, Covenant?
I already have Prometheus, and
those
so
are good.
I'm like,
I like Prometheus and Covenant. I think those are both really good.
Yeah, Covenant was a beautifully made movie, but I just it kind of took the thing that I loved about Prometheus and threw it out the window. They set it up to have such like a deep philosophical message, and it just let's go back to killing people in showers and let's boobs. I want a lot of boobs and a lot of blood.
That's what life's about. Okay, so let's just get to it. That's what life's about. But no, I don't actually remember if Alien 3 is that bad, but I remember the 4th one. I want to say is awful. I think it's the 4th one though. Is the
fourth one
right?
has like Ron Howard's in it, and
I just remember kind of watching them, and they're really surreal and weird and dark and not good. And there's like none of the things I liked about the first one or the second one are really present outside of Sigourney Weaver. But yeah, okay, so besides those DVDs and that Watch Dogs Legion, any other gaming gifts? That's what we're all about here. You gotta get those GGs.
No, that's pretty much it. I just got Watch Dogs Legion.
Okay.
That's all, man. That is all.
Well, the podcast is done. It's a wrap, folks. We're a Watch Dogs Legion podcast now. I already talked about some of my gaming stuff last week, so let's get to the stuff we've been playing, because that's what I want to know about. What have you been playing, boy?
First of all, what did you get? What'd you get gaming wise for Christmas? You didn't answer the question.
I think I talked last week about it. I got Pikmin 3 Deluxe.
No,
but otherwise I just got
Christmas was like 2 days ago. So
okay, well, my birthday is like the week. My birthday is the week before Christmas. Okay, thanks for remembering. Okay, thank you.
Is it really?
We're still waiting on the receipts.
Dude,
okay, for that $5 bet.
I feel so bad.
The receipts aren't here. You missed my birthday. Oh man, I've got that next protest lined up for the day after New Year's. Okay, it's coming to your house just to overwhelm you. Yes, my birthday is December 16th.
Oh, dude. You should have said something, man.
You
Come
forgot.
On,
it was the greatest day of my life. But no, I do think I mentioned this on the podcast last week. I got a copy of Pikmin 3.
Okay.
I am one of those people who probably will return it. I don't see myself playing it because I have purchased every single Xbox Series X game that I wanted to play. So I'm like so overloaded with gaming right now.
Got everything.
I got it all, man.
Here.
What do you buy the man who's got everything, huh?
Humility,
now
apparently.
I'm still missing my my PS5. I got to I just sold my PS4 Pro today, actually. So I'm excited to replace it with a PS5 when I can find one. But yeah, man, I really not holiday gifts. I got some like Amazon gift cards and a pair of running shorts. So nothing really too game related. But
what is running? Can you explain that to our audience for us?
Where you use your bones. You got these bones, and then around your bones are these things called muscles, and you try to use them on your legs to go outside and move as quickly as you can. It's weird. It's the whole
thing. Do you wear
thing
muscles? Is it like a
I
sweatsuit?
put muscles on my body and I carry them outside, and then that's where I run with. I use my legs as fast as I can with running with muscles on top of me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's a really cute thing. I do it every day. But yeah, no, I want to know what you've been playing about. Okay, I told you everything about my life, and now the whole life story is done.
All right. Well, I mean, we could just stop then. I mean,
yeah,
everyone
the games are done. The world's done.
Everyone just wants to listen to this to know more about you.
They're
and now that we know it all.
Yeah, I listen to this podcast for gaming, but I don't want to listen to gaming anymore.
Like
let's go back to Numenera. That's what everybody loves.
Clearly, it's like the last season of Lost. It's rather anticlimactic,
yeah, it's anticlimactic. It's the end.
So yeah, like I said, I got Watch Dogs Legion. Haven't had a chance to play it. Downloaded Call of the Sea. Haven't had a chance to play it.
It's good.
Spent a lot of time in Assassin's Creed. I don't want to keep beating that horse to death.
I have a question because I've been playing it quite a bit more, and I've just got to England and did the title card, and I did the first raid that you need to do to make your first building. Okay. I need to get more rations. Where on earth do you find? I want to say it's coal. I need like a stone. There's a stone picture that you need to upgrade rations in that game.
What are you trying to?
Need it.
So they're all over the map. So you can go like just wandering around. You find these little like deposits all over the earth, the land.
I haven't seen one yet.
They're deposits, and you hit them, and then treasure. It's like
I like you explaining mining to me. I'm just wondering where. All right, so they're just randomly scattered throughout the world.
They're randomly placed. And you just what I would recommend is take like 30 minutes and just go after all like the gold and silver dots on your map, and you'll probably find a good portion of coal while doing that.
Okay, because like I mean the game is fun, but I'm not clicking with the combat in this one as much as I did like with Odyssey.
It's slow. I don't like the two-handed weapons. I don't like it.
Yeah, I feel really weird about it. I'm not exactly sure with parrying. Like, there's a lot of stuff I just don't get.
I just discovered how to parry a couple days ago. You press the left bumper.
Yeah, I know how to do that. I just feel like I don't know the exact right timing yet for the parry when somebody's like hitting me. And then I think if you do a perfect parry, you get like a stun attack is what I've been noticing, and then if you can press right stick in and it'll kill him immediately. There's a lot of stuff I'm still figuring out about, but at the beginning you only get to start with one ration, and let alone the fact that I can never seem to find stuff to fill up my rations. It's pretty easy to get worked. Like in that game, like your character will go from high health to low health like pretty quickly. Yeah. At least in my experience. I think I'm playing on normal. So yeah, I'm just trying to figure it out. I've had a blast playing it. Anything cool? I mean, without spoiling anything in the story, anything cool happening story-wise yet, or no?
Well, I mean, I told you last week I went to Asgard. Right now, like I really struggled. When you go to Asgard, you have to fight this boss, and like I really struggled with this boss.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people won't, just because like everything, when you have your arrows out,
yeah,
you know, you're pulling back and winding up, it shows the weak points on all the enemies. So I mean, a few well-placed arrows will probably take this boss down pretty easy. But I mean, if you mess up, your health goes down significantly. So you only have so many tries to do this before you die. So I'm going around trying to like beef up my stuff a little bit before I go, because the next part of the game I have to go back to Asgard to find out what the rest of the dream was that your character was having. So I'm just trying to beef up my character a little more. What I'm discovering as I go along the map is that you actually have to, a lot of the mysteries and the treasures you actually get during the story. So I'm like going to these places and I can't access these areas yet. Like it'll have a door in the way that I can't open, and then but I'll go back during the story and boom, it's unlocked all of a sudden. So
that's a little annoying. That's not normally the Assassin's Creed way to make it blocked by story parts. But
yeah, and I think they're trying to like encourage exploration like this. But I mean, it is kind of annoying because like I don't want to go back to these places again. They're kind of a pain to get to.
Yeah, I loved Odyssey. I think you did too. We talked a lot about Odyssey on, I want to say, the original Super BS. We might have stopped right when it came out. But anyways, it was like my favorite game. I talked about it on Topicopolis, one of your other podcasts, at the year it came out. And it's great. It's excellent. There's a lot I don't love as much about this one. On Series X, it is beautiful, like my Pro, but my negatives are like, they're changing the character of Layla significantly, it seems like. And in my opinion, a lot of that stuff might just be for like social justice purposes. I don't know if you felt the same way.
They've like turned her into this like strong yet psychotic female character.
Yeah, I mean, the world's changing. I don't want to say, as we've seen with society, people hunt down your old recordings and attack you for things that they disagree with, in case either of us have a future. But I will say they are changing the character from a Layla that was in Origins, a female protagonist, to a character I would say is not very much a female protagonist anymore. And that is fine. That's totally cool. But it seemed to be sudden because Odyssey did not seem to have that same like approach. Now you can hear the police coming. They didn't like what I was saying.
The social warriors.
They're already here, man. It only took 1 second.
You better get in the Animus, man. You got to go back and fix this.
I got to find that. I've got to find the hiding place where Anne Frank was. Hold up 1 second so I can edit this out.
I just want to point out that Anne Frank's hiding spot was eventually found.
After a long time. Okay, so let's try to do that. Then you at least get a good long life. Anyways, like I said, so stuff like that, whatever. We're of a generation that is dealing or learning about how to live with all this stuff very quickly. Yeah. That stuff was whatever. And then I also don't find the story itself to be compelling at all. Like I just got to England and I think the idea is you're going to become strong there and then probably go and fight King Harold or whatever. But I mean, without spoiling anything, there's stuff that happens like within 2 hours that sets up like kind of what you're doing. And I find that to be pointless, if I'm being honest. Like, I don't mind doing it because the game's fun, but
right. I agree with you. The story is that there's not really like Odyssey kept you wanting to play. You kept wanting to know more and more.
Short stories that kept pushing you to a larger story as well. Like, where's your family and stuff?
Right. And like outside the narrative, like I just don't find England that attractive to play in. Like Odyssey, I loved going along the Greek coast. I love swimming in the ocean. I love having to like avoid sharks. Like it's so much more beautiful of
and
a setting.
The ship combat was awesome. Like that was like a fun thing where I'm like, oh, they're not going to get rid of that.
Yeah,
they got rid of
There's
that. There's
no ship combat in this one. You're basically you can drive a boat along like the canals, but I mean, other than that, and like England is such a dreary place, man. It's like there's nowhere that is really cool. Everything's a lot. Yeah, the color palettes are a lot darker, and like to me, like that's not really something I'm enjoying about it.
Yeah, I mean it's way more beautiful than Odyssey just because it's 2 years later in terms of graphical fidelity.
Yeah.
But like you said, the art style is just not as enticing. I'll never forget when I was playing Odyssey and I got to this island where everything was purple. They had a couple islands, like they made wine or something. I can't remember what they made, but a purple dye, and it was just like this really cool desert place with like purple all over, and you're just like, wow, this is really beautiful. And that was a few years ago on a much less powerful console, and now I'm playing, or a couple years ago, now I'm playing this one, and it's a way prettier game, but like you said, it's pretty boring. You know, you're just walking through forests and stuff, and that's great and all. Like, and England seems like a really cool place to visit in real life. Like, but as a person who's like playing something where it's like, this couldn't happen, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, whenever I'm allowed to travel again, I can definitely just go look at trees, you know? Like, I could go to the East Coast if I wanted to do that.
Here's the weird thing to me, though, is that, like, England has been used as a setting in other games, like in Forza Horizon 4.
First thing that came to mind.
Breathtaking. I loved every minute of driving through England. Loved the weather changes. Loved the way the sun set over the hills. Like, it just doesn't have that same appeal in this game. And when it gets dark, like when the sun goes down, you can't see anything, and it's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. I don't know if there's a constant day-night cycle or how that works yet, but I really haven't seen like darkness yet in the game. It's kind of been light where I'm playing. Yeah. So I don't know if it's story-based or how that even works. But
okay.
Yes, I mean, we've talked a lot about the negatives about it. I think it is fun. I don't know if I'm going to finish it personally, but I'm definitely going to give it some more time. Like, I really do enjoy it.
Yeah,
it definitely seems to be the team that made Origins, because like the things I liked about Origins were at that time it was very new, but the things that I thought Odyssey did was improve upon Origins in every single way. And I feel like this is very much the Origins team coming back, like a very similar style game. I do like the settlement. That's one other thing I will add. I like that structure. I was actually reading about the developers, why they chose a settlement. They were saying when they were making Origins, people forgot the quest givers because they were all across the map, and you'd forget them even if they were cool. Because you keep going back to the same quest givers here, you kind of learn their names. I get that. I actually think that's pretty cool. Like, hopefully they still have some new people to introduce, but I do like that idea.
Place. Yeah.
You had another game you wanted to talk about, and I have a lot I want to talk about, but we'll probably try to keep all of our stuff short. What was the other thing you've been playing?
So I've just been playing a lot of, just over the holidays, haven't had a lot else to do, just kind of hanging out with family. When I had some downtime, I've been playing Bust a Move RMT. So this is an app you can get on your phone.
Yeah, what is it? I've never heard of this at all. I know what Bust a Move is, but
it's made by Taito, the people that made the original Bust a Move game.
Okay.
And it is Bust a Move, but you win money for playing. So I mean, you can play free games, or you can play, like, you put $5 in, and you could play like these dollar games, and if you win, you get $1. So I mean, it's technically cool. it's gambling, but I mean it's fun though.
But it's good. It's fun gambling. It makes it good.
So it's okay. But yeah, so I mean
that's what they said.
It's fun. And like when I don't always play the money game. Sometimes I'll just kind of because you can win money just by earning gems on there, and then you can kind of trade them in for more money. But you got to play quite a few games. So I don't know. It's just if you're just being bored, sitting around. I've pulled this out a couple times and played it. It's a pretty great game. It doesn't compare to like the arcade version of it, but it's still pretty fun.
I cannot look at Bust a Move and not see Bubble Bobble, which is a game I played infinite times as a child. Do you know that game?
Yeah, well, Bubble Bobble that's the platforming one, right? When you shoot the bubbles.
It's small levels, and you have to put enemies in bubbles, and I want to say you have to get there and smush them against something, if I remember correctly, or else they'll escape, and you'll have to do it again, and they use those characters for Bust a Move.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Well, that sounds neat. I want to talk about a couple of these things real quick, and I'll get your opinion on which ones you want to hear about in what order. But real quick, I want to say I finished Yakuza. I'm going to talk about it a lot on our Game of the Year podcast. Okay. It is very good. So won't say anything more about that. We talked about Valhalla. I've been playing that quite a bit. I have been playing Immortals Fenyx Rising, Cyberpunk 2077, and Gears 5 Hivebusters. Which one are you the most interested in? And then I'll touch up on
Fast and the Furious 10. That's happening outside your house.
Well, they go to space. Yeah. Oh, you could hear that. Great. Well, I normally have Dom. He's Dominic Toretto. He's outside. He's going to come in later to give me a Corona. But anyways, right now we're planning our moon space travel for Fast and Furious 10. You did hear about that, right? And
yeah.
Goodness, those people who drive quickly, they always set off other car alarms on the street. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's coming through the audio. I really hope it's not.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear it, but it's not a showstopper.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that is rough. I apologize to everyone listening. Hopefully, I've changed my mic. So
they're all gone. All of our fans are gone.
All the listeners are gone. Yeah, honestly, due to the sound, I wouldn't blame anyone for being like, this is one of the worst episodes for audio quality we've dealt with. Enough about the audio quality, though. What of those 3 games do you want to
I want to hear about Immortals Fenyx Rising, please.
Okay, yeah. Pick that up on the sale. There's a bunch of cool stuff with the Microsoft rewards. I definitely suggest everybody looks into it. It's on sale on both PlayStation and Xbox. And anyways, there was a deal. So I picked it up, and it's neat. I could definitely say it being made as like a mobile game originally. There's a bajillion collectible things, and they all do different upgrades, and none of the puzzles so far at least, are half as interesting or challenging as Breath of the Wild, the game that it takes place in. And just real quick, just in case we're talking to somebody who doesn't know what Immortals is at all, even though we've talked about it several times, it is Ubisoft's take on Breath of the Wild. It is essentially Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It seems like it's that team. It takes place in Greece. Same voice actors for the most part, sounds like, and very similar character model interaction, the way they move. It is like cartoonish in style, like graphical style. It's like 3D, but it's definitely not realistic. And you run around a world while you have 2 really annoying narrators, Zeus and Prometheus, kind of just saying jokes constantly. And some of them are Borderlands level trash, and some of them are okay.
What's the claptrap situation?
I mean, essentially Zeus is Claptrap and Prometheus is like trying to tell the serious story. And it was like something where looking at it now, it's like when you think about Breath of the Wild, was the main thing you wanted more hand-holdy story where you can't escape and you have to listen to people rant for a long time? Because if that's what you wanted, then this is that game. Like you want to have to sit through long sections, and they're not even that long, but it's like they all feel pointless. They all feel like we could have had one section like that at the beginning, and then it would have all been done. Anyways, they're not. You have to meet a lot of like Pantheon of God style stuff. I don't feel like the movement is as good as Breath of the Wild. The combat is really decent. It is a pretty fun game. Like I enjoy just running around. It's just a nice, beautiful world. But calling it a Breath of the Wild clone is about the nicest thing you can do. It doesn't learn anything from Breath of the Wild, and it should honestly be considered more of Assassin's Creed with a stamina bar for climbing, because that is really what it is.
Wait, it has a stamina bar to when you climb things?
Yeah, like you remember in Breath of the Wild where when you climb or swim, you would reduce your stamina, and then if you fall. So that's pretty much the only difference between it and Assassin's Creed.
That sucks, man. That's annoying.
Oh, I mean, I liked it because you upgrade it and stuff, and it gets better. Same as Breath of the Wild. Like, I liked their climbing system a lot. But the things that I don't love is, like, in the Breath of the Wild where you'd climb the towers and you'd look over the horizon and you'd see stuff and you'd be like, I just want to go there, right? And you could mark whatever you could see on the map. Well, imagine if instead of you marking stuff and you looking for things, you just scroll over stuff till you get like a buzz on your controller and click reveal with the right trigger, and then it shows you where every single thing is on the map.
Oh, that's
and
annoying.
you just do that perpetually. So like they made the same idea where it's like, oh, you go up to this big horizon, you look out, and they even have custom pins, where you can drop something and be like, oh, I want to go back here later. This looks interesting, blah, blah, blah. But you don't need to do any of that, because you can just find them all from there. You can find every single treasure chest in the game, and it'll buzz and click reveal the second you need to like.
Why work for it then? What's the point?
I mean, you don't need. You just jump over there and do the chest. It is a fun game to play. That's what the counterbalance is. Like, it is, outside of it not being as good as Breath of the Wild, it's still like enjoyable. It's still like combat's pretty good. It's pretty much like Assassin's Creed Odyssey. You can parry. There are weapons and armor and helmets, and you can upgrade all of those, and you can upgrade your pouches, and you can upgrade. It's just a kind of like a task list game, and I enjoy those at times. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, they're fun.
We'll be on this for forever, though, if I keep talking about that. I do want to mention just a little bit about Cyberpunk. I got to the title card. If you like Blade Runner 2047, what was the Blade Runner movie that came out last year?
2049, man.
2049. Okay, sorry. I need to rewatch it again. I only watched it once.
Blade Runner, bro?
I do Blade Runner, bro. I got to the title card in Cyberpunk 2077, and I have to say, I get why people really like that game and why, even with all the problems, people still reviewed it really high.
So you're gonna keep playing then? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I will probably finish Cyberpunk. Right. The story is good enough. I don't know about the side activities. There are some bugs I've run into I need to reset because like some of the audio continued. But overall, looks great on my Series X, and the story it's good. Gameplay itself, like it's not what I was hoping for. It's not a Deus Ex. Most challenges seem like they're resolved one way, which is through gunfire. It's a fairly linear process, but I mean, there is the opening heist, they call it, and this isn't a thing, but this isn't like a spoiler. The opening mission that you get to before the title card, called Heist, is so Blade Runner that it's just insane. It is so cool. You feel like, because it's in first person, you feel like you're running across this like rooftop and trying to do all this cool stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. And then Hivebusters, Gears 5 Hivebusters. That game is really cool. I think that's my favorite experience I've had with Gears since Gears 2.
So is it a story DLC?
It's a story DLC. It's strange because it's like a one-off. You don't need to have played Gears 5 or Gears 4 for that matter, or any of the Gears for that matter, to know what's going on. You're playing as 3 totally separate characters on a 6-chapter arc. It's, I guess, like 3 hours total in length. I'm almost done with it. I'm on chapter 6. Okay. And it's fun. It's just like good Gears. Fairly linear.
Is it? Do you have to buy it, or is it up on Games Pass?
It's on Games Pass, and you can like say you're like me and you filled up your Series X hard drive day one. You can choose what you want to install on Gears. They do that awesome thing. So say you only want to install the single player, or you only want the multiplayer, or whatever. You can do that. So I just installed Hivebusters. I didn't install Gears 5, the single player campaign for that. Yeah, man. Any other gaming things before we get to finishing off the games we missed of 2020?
No, I mean, you played Assassin's Creed, you played Immortals, Fenyx Rising, and Cyberpunk. Have you gone back to Watch Dogs at all?
I have not. I have it downloaded on my Series X. I do plan on turning it on. I think I kind of talked with you about this a couple episodes ago, but it's really lost all favor in my mind because the game is just so similar and the open world is so boring. Yeah. It has the chance to be an incredible game. Like, honestly, it had the chance, I think, to be maybe the best game ever played. Now, it's police. They really don't like it when I talk bad about Watch Dogs Legion, man.
I know.
They're coming to arrest me and stuff. If I do anything against social justice games, man, they just have a cow.
They know what's up.
Yeah, anyways, oh, wow. That's speaking of social justice games, they actually got rid of, in a game that's about a dystopic future where the government controls everything, they got rid of a radio station DJ because they disagreed with their social justice stances. Ubisoft did. Yeah, they patched them out. We talked about this on the podcast maybe 2 months ago, but I thought that was a kind of hilarious, ironic thing. So I don't think I'll ever get back to Watch Dogs. I'll probably turn it on, check it out, but it really, I don't think this story's compelling at all, and I don't have anything I want to do in that world. So what's good? Yeah. At least Valhalla, I kind of want to explore that world. Okay. Like Watch Dogs, I got all the points I want to get. I might recruit one more character, but I don't think it actually controls very great. It's kind of a bummer because I loved 1, and at the end of 2, that was one of my favorite games. Talk about Super BS. Okay, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about these games that we wish we would have played or played more of. Super BS. Now we is back, and we're ready to come back from the dead, ready to break some bread. Last time we finished all the way to May. We're going to go June to the rest of the year, so get ready, folks, because it's going to be hard and heavy and hot and ready, like pizza, like Little Caesars. It's going to be all hot and ready's.
Stuffed crust, right? Or what are we talking about? What?
Does Little Caesars do stuffed crust?
They did. I don't know if they're doing it anymore, but I know they had a limited run on that.
That's what the listeners want to know, okay? They want to know, is the Bigfoot back? They want to know, is stuffed crust accessible? I'm a big stuffed crust accessibility man myself, okay? That's the main thing I care about in life. We're in June, my man. June was a weird month, as always, I guess. It's just always one of the crappiest months for gaming. I'm like looking at a list of stuff in June, and outside of stuff that came to other consoles, like Outer Worlds, which came to Switch in June, finally, I am not seeing almost anything that stood out. Oh, Desperados 3, I guess. We've talked about Me games. I would have actually loved to play that. I don't have a PC that could run it, and I don't think that game should be played on console. I don't think that's a console game, honestly, when I see it. And that same day, that's when Disintegration came out. Do you remember that game?
No, what is that?
Disintegration was that game from the ex-Bungie people, the first-person shooter that was also like a strategy game.
Everyone's like, once again, will this be the Halo killer?
And I think that game might have already been taken offline or something.
It had a bunch of flaws, didn't it?
It just wasn't good. I mean, that's the problem, is like you have to be amazing. I think it's still online. I think you can technically still play it. I'm not sure. I definitely know it failed miserably. That's sad for them, man. So we're talking about like two strategy games coming out. Well, very different, but kind of strategy games coming out the same day. Desperados 3, which is very much like the Commandos games from the old PC, or like Shadow Tactics, the game they previously made, and then Disintegration. Both came out June 16th. I kind of wanted to try both of those. Desperados 3 much more so than Disintegration. Anything standing out to you for June?
I really wanted to. I kind of want to go back and finish the Pokemon games because, like, I have heard good things about the expansions. So I mean, that is something I have been interested in for a while. I just haven't done it.
Yeah, I never finished them either. I want to say I'd like to do it. I know I won't. They were good, but it's just I'm not gonna finish it. They weren't that good.
Yeah, I get you.
SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. It came out in June.
I've heard really good things about that game. Is it something that is worth playing?
I don't know. I've been wanting to pick it up. It just hasn't dropped low enough for me to feel comfortable in case it's something I never touch again. So, but yeah, that's another game that came out this year that I was like, wow, I really wanted to try that. I saw some good reviews. Looked pretty neat. Anything sticking out for you in June?
No, not really. I mean,
you didn't care about Last of Us Part 2?
It's something I did want to play. I just never, I don't even know if I'm going to though at this point, just because it's.
I mean, this doesn't have to be a list of things you will play. It's just kind of more stuff that you saw at that time and you were interested in, or you played a little bit of, and you're like, I don't have time to finish this.
Yeah.
For me, Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel 3. It's like a JRPG about a school group. Anyways, very traditional JRPG story. I wanted to play all those series games. They came out only on PlayStation 3 and then PS4, and now they're coming to Switch, and it's just, I don't see that happening. Before we move on to July, anything else for you in June?
That's it, man. Nothing I can really see on this list here.
Yeah, July was, I guess, better, but if you take out of account like the ones that already came out, like Catherine Full Body, that game already came out on Xbox 360. Dr. Donna loved it. It came out on Switch. I guess I'd be interested in that. Marvel's Iron Man VR, it's like, I guess if I had PSVR, I would have tried it. But it's not even something where I can even say I really wanted to. I think it's worth mentioning because it was a big game.
Yeah.
Crosscode. That's a game that we both played. That's a game that I would say I would like to play more of, but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, that's another one I would like to go back to it. I just, like, with all the other things, I'd have to really like not have anything to play for me to go back to it, But that's not to say it's not a good game, because I really did enjoy my time with it. It's just not at the top of my list of things to do.
Yeah,
you know?
the pixel art was great. It was a cool RPG. People always lose me when they do the RPG within an RPG storyline, though. It's just not my favorite.
Yeah.
Super BS.
Well, we just wanted to show you what the future is like, where you can edit everything. We had some technical difficulties, but we're going to kind of clap back in here, and we're going to have some funsies as we finish up this list. We were at Paper Mario and the Origami King, which is... it happened in like July 17th. That was a game I think we both wanted to play.
Yeah.
Was there anything else in July? I know you wanted to do some racing games, but anything besides F1 2020? You said you met those devs.
Yeah, well, the NASCAR series, I wanted to play that. I wanted to play that game. And I saw that. I mean, came out before this, but Death Stranding came out on PC. I know you played it, and I have it on PlayStation 4, but it's just something I never got around to playing.
You bought it?
Well, I mean, I got it. Target had like some kind of like thing on their website happen, like it was a glitch, and it showed up for $10, so I bought it for $10.
Okay, yeah, that's probably a good price for that.
Yeah, but I haven't played it. It's something I do want to go back to and play at some point. But yeah, I mean, that's another one.
Yeah, for me, like going back to playing Death Stranding would be like the world has ended. I am now a single person. There's nothing I can do on Earth. You know what I mean? Like it's a 60-hour game of delivering stuff. So I just don't ever see myself. But yeah, that did come out to PC. I bet if you had a super powerful PC with mod support, it would actually be a pretty fun game. But there'd have to be a lot of mods to make that game fun.
Yeah.
Skater XL. I think we might have even talked about this one on the podcast. I was so hyped for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 that I almost purchased this game. I'm very glad I didn't. It's a very serious skater game like Skate, and I just wanted fun arcadey action like Tony Hawk.
Yeah.
We're going to move a little bit quick because we're running out of time here, but August is here, and August had a lot of stuff, so I'm probably going to skip a lot of the indies and just get to the bigger stuff that I really missed out.
Like Fast and the Furious Crossroads. That's what.
Fast and the Furious Crossroads.
Yes.
Was that there actually? Is that an August game?
August 7th.
Oh my goodness, that is a game that I love. I love Fast and Furious, but I cannot
already
play
went on clearance at Walmart. You can get it for $4.
It probably is not a $4 game. Can you believe somebody probably paid $60 for that game?
Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of
that
people.
person.
Oh yeah.
Feel bad for them. A game I actually did want to play, Fall Guys Ultimate Knockout. I know I said I wouldn't talk about indies, but that's a huge one. That game seemed so neat. It's like a battle royale, but like a game show like Wipeout. If it ever comes to Switch or Xbox One, I will probably purchase it.
It's got I love the mechanics that it like the physics that it uses. Like I was a big fan of
funny.
What was that game where like you had 4 people? I forget. It was on PlayStation 4. Yeah, yes, that's the one. Yeah, that one was really fun. But yeah, that's what that reminds me of.
Yeah, man. That looked really cool, and it was a huge success. I really wanted to try it. Mortal Shell, which came out on Xbox, PlayStation, PC. It's like a Dark Souls-like.
Okay.
It looked crazy beautiful. I still want to play it. It just wasn't cheap enough to get in this sale. If you're, hankering for some Dark Souls and you don't have a PlayStation so you can't play Demon Souls, it looks like it might be a game worth trying out. What else? Did anything stand out to you for August?
So I'm going along here. I like I've mentioned before, I really want to play Raji. That was one that's been on my list for a while, and
it's a 2D. Do we know if it's 2D or 3D? I know it's like a platformer.
It's 3D. It's a 3D platformer.
Okay.
And it looks good. It was nominated for something at the Game Awards, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, it was nominated for Best Debut with Mortal Shell. Actually,
yeah.
Honestly, I think it was the same one, and neither of them won. I can't remember what won Best Debut game.
Yeah.
It was like something that neither of us had thought about.
Yeah. I mean, it's something I do plan on playing at some point, but I just maybe when it drops in price. I do want to play the Control Alan Wake DLC. I want to play Control in general, but the Alan Wake DLC is something. I'm a huge fan of Alan Wake, so I wanted to see how that ended. The Last Campfire was something I was interested in for a bit, but I don't know if I'll ever go back to that. But other than that, I'm not seeing a lot here.
For me, Battletoads, I played a little bit of it. If I had, in a perfect world, I would finish that game. It's probably 6 hours, and it was pretty fun. But it's not worth 6 hours of time right now. Too many games to play. Another game that's in that same boat, Hypnospace Outlaw. We talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah,
I played a little bit of it. Yeah, it's on Games Pass. It was really cool. It takes you back. It harkens to the old era of like Zyngas, I think they were called, or Zangas, like those pre-MySpace social network style pages. And they are really neat. Anything else in August before we move to September?
No, that's it. That's all I got here.
September, my bro stuff. This is where we start getting into the point where it's like, man, I will never get to play some of these, and it bums me out. Crusader Kings 3. I've heard nothing but amazing things about that game.
Yeah, that was nominated for Game of the Year, wasn't it?
I don't think it was nominated for Game of the Year. I know it was nominated for Strategy Game of the Year, but I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was nominated for multiple Game of the Year titles, because it was like up with Flight Simulator was Best Sim. I think it might have.
Yeah.
No, I think it failed to Flight Sim, but it has like one of the highest reviews of anything. And if you read like patch notes, somebody did that on a podcast I listened to. Just the patch notes for that game just show you how insane it is. Like, the game has so many systems, and it's so funny sounding, and you could do stuff like make a thing where nobody's heterosexual, but there's laws against homosexuality, so your people are like hate their lives, and you could just make this crazy world. Like, somebody said that. They also had one where like kids might be accused of patricide, killing their father. They had to like fix a patch where I forgot, was like a dead baby was accused of patricide because the game did. Like, there was just so many crazy things. That was a game I really wanted to get into. I don't have a PC, really. My Mac couldn't run it. Spellbreak, the battle royale from, I want to say the people do Smite. I could be wrong, but it looked really neat, and I actually downloaded it. And no, it's not Smite guys at all. Proletariat. I don't even think they've done anything else I know of. But anyways, it came out really beautiful looking, kind of looks like Breath of the Wild, but it's like a battle royale where you choose like what type of spells you get, and then you kill guys, get armor, all that same stuff. Here's a big one that you and I both talked about, Marvel's Avengers. Like, I almost picked it up for $30. I thought about it.
I know. Well, that's like the standard price of the game now. You can get it. It's pretty cheap.
A lot of people think it's going to be free, and I'm kind of in their boat. I think it's going to be free here soon, so I don't think I'm going to pay any money for it.
Well, it's like Anthem. Like, you can go pick up a copy of Anthem for like $5 now. It's pretty cheap.
Yeah, I feel bad for Marvel's Avengers. I played the beta, and it was a lot better than I expected it to be. I just don't think I'm ever going to get around to it. There's a lot of stuff, but I don't want to talk about all of it because it's just too much. Spelunky 2. That was a game that I really kind of wanted to try. I didn't love the first Spelunky, but I read the book on it. I think I talked to you about that privately. I read the book by Derek Yu about creating it. And it's just such a cool game of systems that I want to get into it, but till it comes to Switch next year, I probably won't even try it. And even then, it depends on what's out.
Okay. All right.
Did anything else come out that you are looking at in September?
Yeah, so I mean, I never got around to playing the Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
Goodness.
I know you've had nothing but good things to say about it. That is one I want to play. I do want to play Hades. Yeah,
Hades is also incredible.
Yeah, and do want to play Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh my goodness, these are all great games.
Yeah, Crysis Remastered was one I wanted to play at some point, but it's not really high on my list. And then Kirby Fighters 2 was something I was curious about, but I don't know if it's something I'll be playing soon.
Mafia Definitive Edition was something I wanted to play. Did you ever play the original when it came out?
We
were probably in high school?
We were in high school. I remember when it came out. I remember our somebody we went to class with let me borrow Mafia, and I just never actually played it because I was too into Halo at the time, so I just gave it back to him.
Oh, yeah. Mafia, it's really cool. I played it when we were younger. It ran very poorly on the original Xbox. I wanted to play this. It looks very, very beautiful. Like, they did a really good job on the remaster, or the remake, you could even call it, because everything looks brand new. But I don't know. I can't get myself just to buy the single Mafia. They have a trilogy that came out, and the trilogy's just still, I think it's priced too high. One last game that I've almost bought several times this month, but I now don't even have a PlayStation 4, so I can't play it for a while. 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim. They're from that Japanese company called Vanillaware that does really they look like porny action games, but they make very good action.
Corny or porny? What's the...
Both. You could say both. Their dude, their art designer is really into large bosoms, you could say. It's
an epidemic.
Epidemic, man. But they did make a game called Muramasa where you're like a female ninja, and that wasn't an issue in that game, and that was a really great game. But he also made Dragon's Crown, which is like kind of notorious for that stuff. And 13 Sentinels is supposed to be really good. People who play it really, really like it. It's the hard thing for me is it's like an anime game. You know what I mean? Like the game for that game, it's like a weird top-down strategy game. It's not even a turn-based tactical real RPG or anything. It's like a weird one. I don't even know what it is. But the main thing is it's like half visual novel, and I've heard the story's amazing. I just have a hard time with visual novels. Okay. So I can't get myself to get it, but I've heard nothing but great things. Let's get into October, man. We're finally getting to the point where I think we have played most of the big stuff. The biggest thing I'm seeing here, there's two that I did not play. They both came out the same day. Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. I almost picked that up as well. That looks incredible, but I have too much stuff to play. Not going to get to it anytime soon.
That is on my list. I will make time to play that game.
Yeah, I know you're super interested. I'm pretty interested. And the other one, Star Wars Squadrons. I was pretty interested in this before it came out, and I got to be honest, I don't care now at all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm debating, like it's on, I know the part of the EA access thing on Games Pass, so I've been like debating playing it, but I keep forgetting it's there, so I don't know if that's a good sign for whether or not I'm going to get to it.
Isn't that a weird thing where these games are literally part of a service? You don't even have to pay.
You can play it for free, but I'm like...
I think Star Wars Squadron, the full game isn't free yet, but I'm pretty sure there's like a 10-hour demo. And it's like, I still can't even turn it on. Speaking of games I almost bought, Ghost Runner. That game I literally almost purchased just a week ago. It's like a cool 3D, cyberpunk-esque, like kind of arcadey game.
It comes with a free copy of Ghost Rider.
Ghost Rider. That's it. Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage.
Nicolas Cage, yeah.
Yeah, those are... Ghost Runner does look awesome. You should look into it. It is not Ghost Rider. And... The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 4 came out this year on PlayStation 4. I never played 3. I will probably never play 4. No More Heroes 1 and 2 came to Switch. Never played those games on Wii. Always wanted to. And then Pikmin 3 Deluxe. I am literally sitting on a sealed copy. I love Pikmin 1.
Literally. It's in his back pocket.
I'm breaking it right now as we talk. Yeah. I want to play it. I love those strategy games, but I just don't see when there's time, you know?
Yeah.
Anything else for you in October before we get to November?
All I got here was I really want to play the Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition, but I don't have a computer that's fast enough to run it. So,
Same.
If I get a new laptop at some point, then I'll probably play it because I have access to it through Games Pass. I just can't. Don't have anything that supports.
Same boat, broseph. That's the same problem with Crusader Kings 3. That's also a Games Pass game. It's not like we'd have to pay for it. It's just like I can't run it.
Right. So cruel, man.
November, this is where I started getting to the point where outside of PlayStation games, I've been playing the games I wanted to play. I'm looking at this list. Anything that's standing out to you that you really wanted to get to and you just haven't? Or you
I mean, I've played most of these. Let me go through here.
Sakuna of Rise and Ruin?
Yes, that is one I definitely want to play. Devil May Cry 5, the special edition. I was curious about what's different about that. There's something
they add a new character, and then otherwise just Series X improvements. So there's a new character you can play through the game as Virgil. Yeah, one of the characters that wasn't in the first one you can play through the game as.
I want to finish Gears Tactics at some point.
Same. I've played enough of that it's like I will talk about it next week, regardless. But yeah, I would still like to finish it.
Yeah. For me,
For me, the big ones are just like Astro's Playroom on PlayStation 5. Looks like a great platformer. Bugsnax, the indie game, looked pretty interesting on PS5. Demon Souls. That's like the main PS5 game I want to get. And then Miles Morales. Yeah, that's it.
That
Marvel Spider-Man.
Was another one. Yeah, I wanted to play as Miles Morales, but I don't know when I'll get time. Maybe when I get a PlayStation 5, I'll play that one.
Yeah, you have a PS4, but yeah, I was in a similar boat. I had a PS4 Pro. I'm just like, it's going to be way better on this other thing. I'll just wait, you know?
Yeah.
Sackboy: The Big Adventure, I am very
I've heard it's fun.
interested in it. Yeah.
Heard great things.
I'd like to play it. And then this is a big one that neither of us touched. Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory. We've talked so much about that series on these podcasts, and it's just, yeah, I'm never going to play that. I don't care.
Never.
It would have to be free, and even then I'm not sure I'd download it. Yeah, Call of Duty, I don't care enough, and I played some of. December. This is kind of where it finally starts to die out, man. We've talked about a lot of stuff. Anything that's sticking out to you that's jumping off this page?
Yeah, I want to play Immortals. I want to play Dragon Quest, Echoes of an Elusive Age. Yeah.
It's a great one.
Still want to play Doom Eternal on Switch or anything else, but
it's on Games Pass.
Oh, that's right.
I played it there.
Okay.
Yeah, you just play it there if you ever want.
And Hivebusters was the other one, but I mean,
Hivebusters is great, man.
We kind of talked about all these already.
Yeah, I'm really excited for next week. For people who are listening to this, like, why are you guys talking about these games you didn't play? I just wanted to get out there because we're not going to talk about any of these really next week because we didn't play them. So it's hard to add them to Game of the Year, talk about them in an honorable mention, say there's our favorite character from something that we don't know anything about. So next week, join us. It'll probably be all Game of the Year stuff. I don't think we're going to do games we played because that'll be part of this. That'll probably be an honorable mention if we liked it enough. Okie doke, my bro stuff. Anything else you got to add before we go?
No, that's it, man. That is all.
Peace.
Late.
Oh.